Hello, everyone, and welcome to QuiltNCode. I'm Allison, and like crazy summer, right? We are getting ready to. We knew this week was going to be crazy, and it has not disappointed. We have the Mount Mitchell Craft Fair that is getting ready to happen right behind our building, and so all the excitement going up and down the street. Of course, it has. The minute they put the no parking signs on the street, it decides to downpour every year. I mean, like, this is the thing that happens. And so if you are in the Burnsville area or in the Western North Carolina area, Mount Mitchell Craft Fair is one of the biggest, and it is so cool with artisans from all over doing woodworking, pottery, weaving, fiber arts, sewing, quilting, you name it, it is up there. And so I hope you are able to join us. If you do, stop by and say hi. We would love that. So we have been working on the Hankie challenge. And so normally we do this on Mondays, but we knew that August was going to be crazy. And so we sort of switched things up a little bit. And so the point of this challenge was that a friend of mine gave me a ton of hankies and said, upcycle these on YouTube. And I was like, okay, so Joyce, that's what I'm doing. I am upcycling these hankies because she said she can't use them anymore. And so she wanted to make sure she could still enjoy them, even though she wasn't using them as hankies anymore. And so I've done a purse, I've done a notebook cover, and now we're working on our table runner. And I'll tell you, what started out as being the easiest project is never easy when it comes to me. So let me show you a little bit about what we're doing. Okay, so we started with, and my husband's going to switch to the other camera for me. Oh, by the way, before he does that, I am so excited. I was in a car accident a couple weeks ago, and my mug was with me, and my car is totaled. I am fine. Everyone in the car accident was fine. But my mug was in the car, and my mug is also fine, and I have gotten it back from my car. And so I am drinking some delightful Lipton tea with honey in my wonderful music mug that is a Sarah House mug. And I can't tell you how much more I appreciate this mug now than 2 weeks ago. And so, I mean, I really appreciated it 2 weeks ago, but now it's like, it's my favorite mug. And so I am so glad. I hope whatever you're drinking is something just as tasty and in something that you enjoy as well. Okay, now you can go to the other camera, babe. All right, so we are working on a table runner. So I started off by creating a table runner using EQ8 programming. I had these gorgeous butterflies that I knew I wanted to be able to fit in something large. And so that was where we started. We started with the butterflies, and the pattern, that's the reason why the pattern is the way it is. All right, so that I could have my butterflies up top and bottom. Okay, so now then I was playing with the edges of my hankies. Okay, and so a couple weeks ago we were creating these gorgeous little I am using that lace, that crocheted lace that's on the edge of the hankies to create this. Okay, and so now then I spent last weekend finishing up my crocheted flowers. So I took that same lace, but this time I gathered it and stitched it down by hand. My mom did a whole bunch of yo-yos for me. Thank you, Mom. And then I put a little bitty pearl in the center of each one of my little rosettes here. And so I have to tell you that this one and, well, okay, wait a minute. This one is my absolute favorite. I just felt like I was able to really get those star points out. And so I really wish that I maybe had used just those types of handkerchiefs, but I didn't have that many. So it's going to be just fine. Okay, so I started laying everything out. It's wonderful that I have this beautiful workspace, but I'll be honest with you, it started on the floor. And so I was going around my desk and putting things, laying things out. And then I realized that I had done two of these opposites, okay? And so let me see if these two are them. Oh yeah, so these two are them. Okay, so I had one that has the pink like that and then the blue like that. Okay, so I did two that were not correct. I don't know that they're not correct. You know how I like my, I really like to have happy accidents. So I think I have a happy accident here. But when I went to lay that out, of course, that meant that things were going to take a little bit longer than I wanted to, because now I want to make sure that, so up here is the top where I was laying things out. I need to move this so that you can see it without the logo. There we go. Okay, so here's where I started laying things out. So I'm laying this out, I'm laying this out, I'm laying this out, I'm laying this out. Everything's looking pretty good. I have not sewn this 4-piece together because I was like, oh boy, I know I have something going on with one of my things. But then I liked how this pink went with this blue versus having a blue like that together. So you can see how that blue is together like that. And I said, okay, wait a minute. Now I really do have a happy accident, but now I really have to think about where I'm going with this. And so I really like this. Okay, I like how that color changes up. It gives it a different type of feel. And I know that all of these things are supposed to be going in the same direction. I know it, but I'm not sure if I want them to now. And so, because all the blues were like supposed to go in like this direction. Wouldn't that just make everything so much better? Because then I could just sew everything together. Anyway, no, I'm not that, anyway. So it is kind of cool how you've got the blue, 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 and then maybe I wouldn't have to worry about this so much. So you never know. I might change my mind again, but I kind of liked the other way that it was looking. So that meant that I was going to have to come in here and start switching things around. And so if I'm going to do it this way, so that it's a little bit more scrappy on the scrappy side, I need to change some of these around. And so that's what I did. And so it's kind of, oh, you were like that. Okay, there we go. So now I am going to go ahead and stitch that together. I just wanted you to see that when you mess up, it's okay. You just keep going. Remember, this is my project and nobody else, is going to do it the same way as I am because I have designed it. And you have to think about how you feel about your project and what you're looking for in your project.
Bonnie said hi earlier. I missed that.
Hey, Bonnie!
She's glad you're okay. And she was asking about the notebook cover, so I don't know if you want to.
Yes, I think I have it hiding behind me. It's over by Lanny, so he's going to bring it to me. And so I'm making sure y'all can see me. All right, I'm not ironing or anything. I am just going to go for it. Oh, I'm not sure that notebook cover is the one she was talking about.
I asked. Yes, that's your most recent.
That's the most recent one. So my most recent notebook cover from the stripology stuff that I was doing is sitting right here. I am pretty darn nutso over it. It's hilarious. I can't stop showing it off. So I will definitely show off my gorgeous notebook cover. And so this was using the stripology. I was seeing how mini I could go. And so those are the mini things. These are the little attachments I added on. I added on this little cute ribbon and it goes around like that and has, so if you open it up just like this, you can see what I started with in order to close it out. And so that is on my stripology lives. And so if you look back a couple weeks, I worked on that for a few weeks too. I don't design quickly, guys. It does not happen. I do not design quickly. All right, Cleo. Now I need to back this up because I messed it all up and I need to figure out where I want this to go again. Alrighty.
She says very cool, great job.
Right? Isn't like, I am in love with embellishments. Bonnie, it's just, I think I could do everything with embellishments. I'm having the time of my life playing with adding little things to my project. Okay, so now where do I want to go? So I went ahead and made a whole bunch of these because I knew they were either going to be right or they were going to be wrong. And so I have, nope, you're going that way. So I have that one like that. And that way I could keep up with this little theme of kind of doing my own little thing here. And then let's see, I think I sewed another one. I did. Look at that. Amazing. Okay. And so I definitely want my little thing. Look at that. And then that goes, oh, I just think it's fun and scrappy looking and I like it. So I'm going with it. So that being said, now that I feel like I've got these two, like I kind of want them, I am going to go ahead and stitch those together because if I don't, I will forget how I laid it out and be like, nope, don't like it. Oh, I forgot to move the camera. Here you go. Now you can see me sewing. Kind of, sort of. There you go. You can see my messy room in the background. I mean, design spaces are never clean. You vacuum and then you sew and it's all over again. And I'm sort of okay with it. I love having this large space to be able to lay everything out on.
Yeah, the desk does stay relatively clean.
The desk stays clean. That's because I shoe it all to the floor.
That's the other direction that you can't see from the camera, that, you know.
That side is a bit, because that's my like scrap section, and I'm constantly going through them. So all right, there we go. I'm getting there, guys. That was wrong. We'll redo it. I wonder if you can pick out what I did wrong.
So are you going for the blue and the pink matching at this point on all the different squares?
No, I am. So this is wrong. So look at that one. This one and this one, I'm sort of going for opposites right there. Just because I am attempting to do a little bit, like it's supposed to be so uniform. And I'm attempting to make it not so uniform. Okay, guys. One of these things is not like the other. Okay. So it would be good if I remembered that these two go in the center. And then I won't have any problems.
From what you just said, all of these things should not look like the other.
Okay, not all. Well, you know, I have to have some uniformity. See, this is going to end up being a wall hanging in the end just because I'm having way too much fun with it.
You mean because it's going to be 6 feet long?
It's not going to be 6 feet long. There we go. Okay, babe. Now, I am going to very quickly pull you apart because you should not have been like that. And my mother is I'm sure watching and saying, "As ye sow, so shall ye rip." She is so excited because Vicky made her a mug that says, "As ye sow, so shall ye rip." I think my mother taught me how to rip seams before she taught me to sew. And I used to hate it, but you know what? It's just an eraser. It's an eraser of your mistake. And so really you should be glad that we have this ability to do that. My dad does a lot of woodworking. And I'll tell you what, when you cut a piece of wood, it's gone. At least with fabric, you have this ability to put it back on. Unless you cut that piece of fabric, but if you make a mistake, man.
You have wood glue and screws.
Wood glue and screws, okay, but you know.
But in both cases, you know, both fabric and wood, I mean, the problem with cutting is that you lose a little bit in the process.
Right. So this month has been so crazy. I was going to make some posts, you know, like, what is your favorite? What if you were to have an event that you would compete in the sewing Olympics? What would that event be? And I think I would compete in the fastest sewing ripper contest. I think that's where I would be, okay? Because I am very good at seam ripping. Okay, so I got these guys like this. So now it doesn't really matter. Uh-oh. I know I had two others. Where are you? Here I was talking about how good I had been. I can't find my two pieces. Let's see if they fell on the floor. Nope. Don't see any on the floor. And the floor is actually clean. That's kind of scary, so I will cut some others. Which means I get to use my stripology. For those of you that don't know, one of the reasons why this month is so busy is that QuiltNCode has just been, we are now going to be Janome dealers. And so we're so excited that we are creating an event at the end of the month. So if you are local, please come and join us. On August 24th, we will have prizes, raffles. We're having a kids event. So kids are going to get to sew a project. We're going to have not only that, but the kids will also be doing a charity event. And so we'll have folks being able to use the sewing machines to do the charity event. And let's see what else is going on, Lanny. We have a food truck coming. We have door prizes. We have a knife sharpener coming to take care of your knives and scissors. We have, it's just going to be great. All day, August 24th, we will be hanging out and doing demos, and we will have refreshments. We will have, yes, it's going to be a blast. And so share that event with your friends and come hang out with us on the 24th of August. Will has just changed and updated the website to start announcing everything. And so it's now becoming really real. It's like, okay. All right, so this one's going to go like this. Right. Oh, this is why I did extras.
Somebody wants to know if we're giving away any 17s.
Are we giving any? No. You're funny. Okay, I'm laughing with you, Bonnie. We were thinking about doing a loft, and so we're talking about that, which is one of the basics machines. Give us just a little bit longer to do an M17. That's going to take a little while. In fact, I'm not even getting an M17 yet because I'm super nervous I won't be able to use it quite yet. And so let's see. How do I want you to go? Okay. If you go that way, it works. Okie dokie. That's how I wanted to do it. Nope, you go there. You go there. You really are wrong. No, you're right. How does it go? It goes like this. I got it. There we go. Okay, wait a minute. But I got to stand back. Yeah, okay, I'm good. I think. Yeah. Yep, I like it. Okay, so I'm going to go with it. Now, a reminder on these are a little bit bigger than what I had started with. I didn't want them to be exact because I wanted to be able to, let's see if I can show you a little bit better. I wanted to be able to have enough to make sure I was going to get my 1/4-inch seam so that my 1/4-inch seam would match up with that so that I could get a meshed seam here. Okay, so I want to get that as close as possible. And so I made that just a little bit bigger. And so that way I can double check with my pin that that's going to go through right. And so I do that every time I want to, make sure that my seams are matched up. And then I can trim it down. You know, it's just like wood, you know. Once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I first eyeball it to make sure that my thing is, and then I stick my pin in there, and I make sure that I'm coming up where I need to over on the other side. And then I can stitch. All right, and then I can show you how. I am going to open these up. And so you can see how it's bigger, but it gives me a little bit more room to make sure that I'm as close as possible to getting that seam to nest in there. Oh, this one's perfect. Oh, yes. The other one's okay, but I'm gonna let it go. Turned down my iron. So you can sort of see how that helped me to get that, oops, you can't see it, how it helped me to get that perfect corner right there, okay? And this is nice because this method allows you to do this without having a Y seam. All right, coolio. All right, moving that over there. All right, and then bringing in the cutting board. Now I can trim this down to my 3.5. I believe it's 3.5. Is it 3.5? Yeah. Trim this down to my 3.5. But what I'm going to do here is line up this horizontal line and go ahead and take that off. And then now I have a straight line that I can go with everything for. The other two sides are probably fine. Yep. All right, and then let's do this one. Oh my goodness, we're going to be able to put the top together today. Ah! finally, right? Y'all are like, finally. It just is that way. It's designing. You know, then I'll get done with the project and I'll be like, I wish I had done it this way. Which is what I have done this whole time. I've been like, okay, now, no, I don't like it. I want to try it this way. So, yeah, you know. Okay, I'm going to have these two guys, and I'm going to have that in the center, and I'm going to have that in the center, and now I'm happy. Okay. So another thing that's happening is that tomorrow morning, we're going to do a little tour of the store. Things have changed. And we wanted to kind of give you an idea of what's coming and where things are going. And we're so excited. We have so many things happening in the store. So it's like tomorrow morning, we're going to give you an idea of what it looks like now. You know, we're doing the before and then we'll do the after. Because Will won't even be here because Will is creating a whole bunch of extra stuff that's going to be coming in. And so, oh my gosh, it's so exciting because we need a place to put these machines, right? And be able to display, and we are getting all the feet and all the attachments and stuff that need to go with the machines. So it's like, okay, Will, you need to get to work. So he is the one who has created all the shelves in our shop. And so we're going to, we've enlisted his help in doing our shelving. So join us tomorrow morning at 10, where we will be doing a nice live, taking you through the store, showing you what we have done so far and giving you a sneak peek of what is coming. All right, guys, that's all the blocks done, and I believe they're done correctly. I can't wait to see in the chat that you guys have noticed something I have done wrong. No problem. Like I said, you know, I can just use a seam ripper to erase it all. It'll be fine. All right, I'm going to knock that out like that so you can sort of see where everything is. All right. Okay.
Bonnie was wondering where the machines were going to go.
Will is, no, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. I'm not giving it away tonight. So yes, we have big plans and several things already in boxes. So they were going to leave. I'm still not getting anywhere. Oh, I keep turning it down. The boxes were going to come upstairs, and they have not yet. And so I might show you the boxes I can't seem to get rid of. That is not right. That is how I wanted you. Okay, coolio. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and put my twos together. So we will stitch over here. Let me see if you can see everything. There we go. The biggest deal is that the workroom is very much a workroom. People are constantly stitching and sewing and that type of stuff in there. And so you're right, Bonnie. Yeah, it has been a challenge for us to figure this out. Upstairs is where all our kids' programs and all our classes take place. And so even on the day of the event, that's where everything's going to happen. And so things have even changed upstairs. It's really kind of cool. Lanny has an office up here, but I'm having an issue right here. I just wanted to show you. Okay, so my seams are both going the same direction. So I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier with that seam with my window. And I'm going to go ahead and put a pin there. I'm not going to worry about pushing it so that it does its thing. I just want to make sure that I'm going to catch that seam at the right place. It's going to be a little thick on the one side. So I know everybody has a issue with trying to get their seams to mesh so that you have nice points. And so if you're really nervous about it, that's what you do. That's how you fix it. Okay, so this one is fine. It's meshing right in there, so I don't really need a pin. But I used to pin a heck of a lot more than I do now. If you feel like you need to pin, by golly, do it. It does get easier as you sew, and so the more experience you get, the easier it is to do some stuff. And so if you feel like, you need to pin, please. We all need to do what we feel comfortable with. All right, so this one is going to also mesh nicely, so I can just go. It's the ones that I did differently, the ones that I decided I wanted to turn around. Those are the ones that are not going to mesh as nicely as I want them to. Well, everything is catching up back here. So what other Olympic events could I have in the sewing Olympics? There's the seam ripper contest. There is the
speed threading.
Speed threading. Oh, see, I don't thread needles fast, so you would definitely win there. I am not going to be in that event.
Could be a regular needle. It could be a machine also.
Right? Well, and I am pretty good if you give me a machine that can, I'm telling you, and a machine that has a needle threader on it can almost pay for itself.
Artistic piecing.
Artistic piecing. Look at you. You're good at this. Write them down. So you can see how I am chain piecing all this together. So the trick will be whether or not I actually did go on the right side of the pieces that I wanted to stitch. It is not unusual for me to even pulling them from here to here, flipping them and going, what did I do? And so it is definitely possible. And so I can lay that out and then we'll see if I did anything right. Let's see. Looks okay. Oh, okay. Good, good, good. Look at that. All right, Cleo. And then I'm going to do choose again. That way I can continue to chain piece. And then at the very end, I'll give her a good iron. So I definitely have some children that think that they could go in the fastest sewing contest. But I would probably have to put, I would have to take off points for accuracy. Because they can sew really, really fast. I don't think that's really how I wanted that one to go. I mixed that one up. We're going with it, and I will fix it later if I feel like that is just not how I wanted it to go. Yeah, because what I do with them when they have camp and stuff is I start by drawing mazes on muslin, and they have to follow the maze with their needle, and for the most part they do pretty good, but it teaches them the skill of pivoting by keeping their needle in the fabric. And so if you're teaching kids, that's a wonder, and they love it, because it's almost like a game of trying to keep that needle on the line. And so it's really, really an interesting thing. And then as the week progresses in camp, they walk in and they have a new shape every day. And so they'll have to conquer circles and triangles and all of that stuff as the week progresses. Till on Friday, I let them draw their own picture. And so they can draw a house, they can draw, you know, whatever they want to put into, and it's so neat to watch how their sewing skills have progressed during the week. And they can then do clouds and trees, and it's really quite fascinating how their skills have progressed during the week. And it gives them a chance to have something to sew at all times. They can be working on that while I'm working with another student on another task. Although when I do my sewing camps, I try to have at least 3 adults in the room, because somebody's machine is always acting up. All right. Oh, that's how you got flipped. Okay, we're okay. We're all good. It just got flipped. It's all good.
So apparently the gem show is happening in Spruce Pine this weekend also.
So there are so many things to do here in Burnsville. So come on over. The gem show is fantastic. The craft fair is fantastic. It's crazy. I totally recommend that you come shop here and park in our parking lot if there's room. The shuttles are great. So there's shuttles at both the Roses parking lot and the Go parking lot. And the shuttles are great. Air conditioned. They take you right to the craft fair. And so there's no walking. If you're here at our shop, there's very little walking. And then we'll let you leave your car if you come in and say hi to us. We let you leave your car in the parking lot. I'm like watching this thing fall off while I'm sewing. It's like, where are you going? No! Yes! Lenny's like, oh boy. This is it. This is it. Final one. Finally. All right. One of my seams just flipped on me, so I'll have to catch that later, and I'll show you how to do that. So it happens. You're in the middle of sewing your quilt and you realize you've flipped a seam. Okay. And so on the back side of the seam, I don't have anything. And so I could just leave it. Believe it or not, it usually once you put the batting on there, you won't see it. But you could simply, I just get right under there, snip it once, open it up, and stitch it again. It really isn't that big a deal. Since I only did one seam like this, it's really not a big deal. And since there's nothing to match up on the back end, then it was pretty easy to just stitch that and figure that out. If I have a ton of them though, Lady, you can come back up to me. If I have a ton of them, then at that point I'm sort of like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it. And I'm just going to steam it. And by the time, now if you're working on a quilt for a long armor, I can understand how you would want to make sure that those are not happening, because sometimes when your long arm hits that seam, it does cause some bulk and does some funky things. So think about whether or not you're quilting it and that type of thing. And then this is it. Now, this is it for right now. There is the possibility that I will look at it later and go, oh, I need to switch that row, or I need to turn that block around, or I need to do something. And so I am going to now that it is sitting out here nice and pretty and stitched together, I am going to let it sit with me. I'm going to stick it on the design wall. I'm going to do that type of thing. And so next week, it may have changed just a little bit. The other thing is I still have not done is I have not figured out if I want to do something up here in this empty space with my butterfly. And so I have not figured that out. On the other hand, I might decide to do something quilting wise that would take up that negative space, and then I would be perfectly happy. I am planning on quilting it on this machine so that everyone can see how you can quilt anything anywhere, okay? And so everything is good. In fact, I see something wrong right there. And so I am gonna have to go back and fix that block, and that is all right. All right, so that being said, thank you for joining me. This is the top now. The next time you come, we have other work to do, okay? So we still need to put on the outside fabric for the quilt, and then we need to do the scalloped edge. So when we come back, and that hopefully will be next week sometime, we will come back and we'll add those, that outer edge, and we will go ahead and draw out the scallops. But I don't usually do the scallops until after I have quilted it. And so we will also be talking about about what the quilting plan is. I don't think I will be able to start the quilting next week, but definitely have a quilting plan, get that ready, have the adders, and we'll be ready to go. And so I hope that you enjoyed watching this design process. Join us tomorrow for a tour of our shop downstairs for the before Janome machines get here. And then we'll do a after the Janome machines get here. And then don't forget that we have an open house Janome celebration, all that other stuff happening on the 24th of August. And if you've enjoyed these videos, please like, subscribe, share, and all that other social media stuff. So until we see you next time, have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.